Naan is a Persian word and it means bread. Naan in parts of Indian subcontinent usually refers to a specific kind of a thick flat bread. Naan is very popular not only in the northern parts of India but also in the southern parts. Particularly the youngsters are very fond of naan. Generally it resembles pita, and like pita bread it is usually leavened with yeast. So leavening is the process of fermentation, and here yeast is used for fermenting the naan or with bread starter. The bread starter is nothing but a leavened naan dough left over from a previous batch. We already prepare a dough for the preparation of naan, and a small portion of the dough is kept aside, and that is used as a starter, right? So that is called as the bread starter. Unleavened dough may also be used, like in the case of roti. And naan is a teardrop shaped bread. It is almost roughly triangular in shape, that is baked in a tandoor. And what is a tandoor? Tandoor is a traditional Indian clay oven, and it is served along with different types of accompaniments, like different types of curries are served along with naan. You can see here the naan, how it appears, and it is teardrop shaped, but of course it is available in different shapes. The tandoor in which the naan is prepared is rounded and it has a beehive shape. We will see the tandoor later. Although tandoor cooking is associated with North Indian cuisine, particularly in Punjab, the tandoor traces its origin to the nomadic tribes in the Central Asia and is believed to have been introduced into India by the Mughal rulers. Naan is cooked in a tandoor, from which tandoori cooking takes its name. The term tandoor refers to a variety of ovens. The most commonly known is a cylindrical clay or metal oven used in cooking and baking. The heat for a tandoor was traditionally generated by charcoal. Charcoal is nothing but the coke or the wood fire burning within the tandoor itself, thus exposing the food to live fire. So the food is cooked by various means in the tandoor. One is there is live fire inside the tandoor, and the radiant heat is generated uh, because of the hot air that is present in the tandoor, and also convection cooking takes place because of the circulation of air, and the smoke is generated inside the tandoor when the fat and the food juice drops into the charcoal. Tandoor is about 1.5 meters tall. It looks like almost like a cylinder with a narrow neck at the top, and there is a small hole at the base for the air to enter. The base is filled with charcoal. The fire in the oven reaches a maximum temperature of about 371 degrees Celsius. Naan is different from roti, which is usually cooked on a flat or slightly concave iron girdle called as the tawa. The preparation procedure and also the ingredients that are used in the preparation of naan is different, and that of roti is different. Modern recipes sometimes substitute baking powder for yeast. So yeast is used in order to ferment the dough and also to leaven the dough. And sometimes baking powder is also used. Baking powder can leaven the dough, but it may not ferment the dough. Milk or dahi or curd may be used to impart distinct taste to the preparation of naan. Milk, when it is used in the preparation of dough instead of water, will make the dough soft. A typical naan recipe involves mixing the white flour, which is the refined wheat flour, with salt, yeast culture, and enough yogurt to make a smooth and elastic dough. Like we prepare the dough for chapati, in the similar manner, a dough is prepared for the preparation of naan. The dough is kneaded for a few minutes, then it is set aside to rise for a few hours. It is allowed to ferment. Once risen, the dough is divided into balls, which may be 100 grams or how much ever amount they wish to take. and then it is flattened and cooked. In the Pakistani cuisine, naans are typically flavored with fragrant essence such as rose or kus, which is called as the vetiver in Tamil, or with butter or ghee melted on them. So when ghee is added or when butter is added over the surface of the naan, it imparts a very good flavor to the naan. And the nigella seeds, which is nothing but the black cumin, are also commonly added to naan as cooked in Indian and Bangladeshi restaurants. Here you can see the images of vetiver and the black cumin. So all these are added as flavoring agents in the preparation of naan. Typically, it is served hot and it is brushed with ghee or butter. So during the preparation of naan, fat is not required, but after the naan is taken from the tandoor, the surface of the naan may be brushed with ghee or butter, and it is usually served hot. It can be used to scoop other foods or served stuffed with a filling. So scooping with other food is, this can be used like a spoon along with when it is served along with an accompaniment like a gravy. So the naan, a piece of naan can be used to scoop the gravy and it can be eaten. And naan can also be prepared as a stuffed naan. For example, keema naan is stuffed with minced meat mixture, right? So the meat may be from lamb or mutton, or it can be goat meat. So goat meat is stuffed in the preparation of naan. Peshwari naan and Kashmiri naan are filled with a mixture of nuts and raisins. So these are the variations in the preparation of naan. Here you can see the keema naan, where there is stuffing of the meat, and the Peshwari naan where there is stuffing of nuts and dry fruits. In Pakistan, Rogani naan is sprinkled with sesame seeds. Sesame seeds are nothing but the gingerly seeds, and kulcha also is another type of naan. Amritsari naan, also called as Amritsari kulcha, is stuffed with mashed potatoes, onion, and a lot of spices. So in Amritsari naan, like we have the aloo paratha, the naan is stuffed with potato and the spices. Possible seasonings in the naan dough include the cumin seeds and the nigella seeds. Cumin seeds are the siraham and the nigella seeds is the karunjiragam. In the Pakistani dish of balti, so here the lamb meat or the meat curry is served in a bowl, which is called as the balti, and this is usually eaten with the naan as an accompaniment. Huge karak or table naan, like we have the family dosa, large sized naan are prepared, and that is called as the karak or the table naan, and it is easy to share among large group. This is also available. This is the balti I told you, which is used to serve the accompaniments for the naan, and this you can see the large sized naan, which is called as the table naan. Raisins, lentils, and spices can also be added. Naan can also be covered with or served as a wrap. So, like we stuff the kurma or the vegetables or the sabji in the puris or chapatis. Similarly, naan can be used as a cover or it can be used as a wrap for various toppings of meat, vegetable, or cheese. This version is sometimes prepared as fast food. So you can have a chapati roll. A chapati roll is prepared where there is a stuffing in the center and we wrap the chapati. Similarly, a naan can also be prepared in the same way. It can also be dipped into soups or dal, and it also goes well with sabjis. Sabjis are nothing but the vegetable preparation. Naan baya in Burma is sometimes served at breakfast with tea or coffee. Like we eat biscuits along with tea or coffee in Burma, naan is served along with tea or coffee. It is round, soft, and blistered, often buttered. So the naan can be round, it is soft, and you can see the surface is blistered, and the surface can be buttered, or it can be our boiled piece may be added to the top, or it can be dipped in the mutton soup, which is prepared in Burma. Naan pizza is a type of pizza where naan is used as a crust. For the preparation of the pizza, we have a crust over which there are toppings. So here, pizza can be used as a crust instead of the traditional pizza dough. You can see here the Burmese type of naan where it is soft, round, blistered, and the pizza type of naan. The preparation of naan. The dough is baked after all the ingredients have been added to the dough. It is kneaded vigorously until it is springy to touch and it is left to rise. That is, it is allowed to ferment. It is kept moist by wrapping it in a damp cloth. We keep the dough covered in a damp cloth. The dough is then shaped into balls. They are flattened into pancakes before pulling down one side of the pancake to form a teardrop shape. So you flatten the dough, you roll the dough, and then one part is pulled so that it forms a teardrop shape. The flattened dough is then plastered onto the inside wall of the tandoor, and it takes slightly around 3 minutes for the naan to be baked in the tandoor. This is the tandoor. You can see they are cylindrical shape, and you can see how the naan, they are stuck on the wall of the tandoor. You can see the charcoal at the bottom from which it gets the heat, and you can also see the fire that is present at the bottom. And in the last image, you can see the skewers that are used for removing the naan from the tandoor wall. The chef will skillfully manipulate skewers to retrieve the naan from the tandoor. One skewer will scrape the naan away from the wall of the tandoor, and the other will hook the naan outside. The cooked naan is served whole or it is cut into half. Naan is a rich source of protein and B vitamins such as thiamine and niacin. It is usually eaten when it is fresh and oven hot because it tastes good, and the texture also will be good only when it is hot. Naan does not keep well once it is frozen. It will become rubbery when the temperature is less. Nature of fermentation is lactic acid fermentation. So we are allowing the naan to ferment, and the when it is fermented, lactic acid bacilli will bring about the fermentation process, and it is called as lactic acid fermentation. And it can also be fermented using yeast, which is nothing but the Saccharomyces cerevisiae.